Greetings petrolheads, welcome back to Automation, and today is going to be day 2 of our head-to-head episodes of all the entries for the BGTC. So yesterday it was a pretty clear victory for the Beluga, you guys seem to agree. So it will be entering the pool of potential finalists. It'll be entered into the pool of head-to-head winners, and then on the weekend we are going to be running a straw poll to determine which car was best out of the 5 head-to-head winners. Today we're going to be looking at the Murcen by Stale Mahoney and the Grand American by Vinny Scarletto, aka Sedan 57 Chevy. Now, give me a second here. Okay, so the one entry, the one that he would like to submit here is the 8 sledge with the 6-liter V8. I just had to make sure. Oh look, it's another Mustang. This one actually looks like a Mustang now. Like, especially the front end, it kind of looks like the last generation Mustang, the mid 2000s. Obviously the Mustang had 3 red rear lights, whereas this one doesn't, but overall, even with the way you did the morphing and everything, it looks very much like a Mustang. But that's not a bad thing. So let's see what makes this car. We have a 5-speed manual gearbox, corrosion resistant steel monocoque and panels, rear drive obviously, double wishbones all around, 250 horsepower from a 6-liter V8. And let's take a look at that engine, because it's gonna be quite a beast. It's got push rods, it's full aluminum, it's got a very expensive component on the bottom end, a 30 cam profile, but it would need to be low if you want to make just 250 horsepower out of 6 liters. It's naturally aspirated, it's got multi-point injection. We got a fuel mixture of 15:1, so that's as lean as it's gonna get, and only 5300 RPM rev limit. Not the most responsive of engines. This is sort of like a lazy V8, like we would know from like old school muscle cars. That's what this is. And lots of low end torque obviously, but cut off at 5300 RPM. So it's a really low redline. Tubular headers, 1 single exhaust, and then 2 straight through mufflers. 311 pound-feet of torque is really quite a lot of torque. We have a geared limited slip diff. We have sport tires, 235s all around, 16-inch alloy rims. We have vented discs front and rear, with just the tiniest amount of brake fade. We have a fully clad under tray, a slight little bit of downforce, like 0.something kilos at like, well, 270 kilometers an hour. Or how fast this will go. What's it, the top speed? 263. That's actually really fast. For only 250 horsepower, that is. 4 luxury seats, luxury cassette, advanced safety, traction control, hydro pneumatic springs. That's very fancy and expensive. Let's see what all that does. 56.6 drivability, 40.5 sportiness, 43.1 comfort, 42.9 prestige, and 40.6 safety. What's the safety equipment again? Advanced? How does this only have 40.6 safety with advanced safety? I mean, yeah, it does have -2 quality here, but well, whatever, it does meet the 40, it does meet the requirement of having at least 40 safety. So let's see how this does in a GT segment. 64.9, that's decent. It costs $31,800. It will cost $3,508 of running costs per year. Yeah, I guess per year. And then on the quarter mile in Tulsa, it will do a 14.16, so that's pretty damn good. And 5.6 seconds 0 to 100 is also good. Like for 250 horsepower, this car is about as fast as it's gonna get in a straight line. You're not gonna realistically go any faster than this car. The one thing, I mean, sure, 42.9 Prestige is pretty, you know, average from what we've seen so far. That could be a little better though, and the running costs as well, because obviously we do have a V8 and it's not the most economical of engines. So I mean, sure, economy isn't, you know, the greatest concern when you buy a car like this, but $3,500 running cost is among the higher amounts that we've seen so far. The rest of the car is really good though. So let's check out the Grand American by Sedan 57 Chevy. The V8 trim is the one that counts here. So here we have a corrosion resistant steel monocoque and aluminum panels. We have double wishbones front, a semi-trailing arm on the rear, and then we have a 5-speed manual gearbox. We have 248 horsepower coming from a 4.9 liter V8, or let's just say 5 liters. And it is naturally aspirated with multi-point injection. So let's check that engine out. That is also a really flat torque curve in the low to mid RPMs. Still a very low RPM heavy torque band. But this engine actually has a lot more bore than stroke, so it's a very over square engine, which would theoretically allow for higher revs. But valve float is going to be a little bit of a problem. Not very much so on this engine, but it only revs to 6,000 RPM, or actually 5,900 RPM. So there is that. It is full aluminum with dual overhead cams and 4 valves per cylinder. It's got the same internals as the Murcen 6 liter V8. It's got a cam profile of 24, which is lower than on that 6 liter. It's got 15:1 fuel mixture, just like the other car. It's running throttle per cylinder configuration with a standard intake. And it has long turbo headers, one reverse flow and one straight through muffler. I think that's a slightly more fitting setup than 2 straight throughs, because for this sort of GT challenge we're looking for a balance between comfort and sportiness, and you know, straight through mufflers are there for the noise, reverse flow mufflers are there to kind of cancel it a little bit, and therefore I think that this is a relatively reasonable setup. 295 pound-feet of torque, 248 horsepower. Those are some pretty decent numbers. We get a 5-speed manual gearbox, a geared limited slip diff. We get 235 millimeter sport tires all around, sitting on 16-inch alloy rims. And then we have vented discs all around with 3 pistons all around as well. Now that I think is not quite ideal for brake balance. Let's see. Yeah, going with less pistons on the rear would definitely help drivability and sportiness. Yeah, that would have been a better choice. fully clad on the tray, and then enough cooling airflow. There's no lips or wings in this car, so 50 front, or is there? No, there isn't, but apparently these sort of plastic bumpers that this car comes with help with a little bit of front downforce. Or maybe it's so front heavy from this 5-liter V8, and with the way this body is laid out, I don't know, we'll see. 4 seats, luxury interior and entertainment, standard safety, power steering and ABS, and then we have progressive springs and adaptive dampers with a pretty normal setup. Sway bars are a little bit stiffer than usual, but apart from that it's pretty normal. We have round about the same drivability. Actually no, what was the Murcen's drivability? I think it was a little bit higher. And then sportiness was at 40 there. However, this car has a little bit more comfort, a little bit more prestige, a little bit more safety. So how does this do? 59.4 in the GT category, costing $32,850, so that's $1,000 more. It's cheaper to run though, by about $140 per year. And that's mostly down to the economy, which is 10.68 liters, as opposed to 12.8 something, I believe. And let's see how this car performs on the quarter mile. $14.29, that's still really good. And it launches slightly better, it seems. So overall, what are my thoughts on this car? I think it is slightly lower and slightly less or slightly more expensive, excuse me, to buy, but it is less expensive to run. Let's compare once again the stats to the Murcen, that one. Oh, this has a lot more drivability. That's like 10 more drivability. I'm sorry, I thought it was a little lower than that. So, okay. In that case, I do believe that this car probably has the edge, because it's more rounded, it's got more drivability, more sportiness, pretty equal amounts of comfort and prestige, only lagging a little bit behind in safety. It's quicker, but it costs more to run. So what do you guys think? Who should win? The Grand American, which is cheaper to run, or this car, which is cheaper to buy and faster and also more drivable and more sporty? I think, yeah, I think my vote is gonna go to this car, and I do believe that this is really gonna be one of the stronger entries, because apart from the running costs down to the fuel economy, apart from that, I don't think there's really a glaring weakness to this car. But let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you with the next episode tomorrow. Goodbye.